Alright, we are live tonight. So, don't change your dials. We are running back a commander we literally just did a couple weeks ago, and that is Aerith Last Ancient. Beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, target creature from your graveyard to your hand. If you gain 7 or more life, return that card to the battlefield instead. I mentioned when we played that deck and literally didn't win a single matchup, but I wanted to try more of a Soul Sisters build. Now, one thing I will say about this is while there are quite a few Soul Sister-esque creatures, there are also some angels throughout the deck. We have a decent life gain sub-theme, but I still don't... I played the deck probably over the last couple days, probably 10-12 matches. I don't think I like exactly where the balance is on this deck yet, but I do think it's a lot closer to being reasonable / playable than the one we played a couple weeks ago. That said, I mean, we do have a lot of 1-drops. We do have some acceleration in the form of Avacyn's Pilgrim, Birds of Paradise, Gilded Goose, Exploration. We have a lot more payoffs like Selesyna, Voice of the Blessed, Johnny's Pridemate. I think there's one more Voice of the Blessed. Some Pride. Essence Chandler, this was the other one I was thinking of. And then Aerith does something very similar. Halia can also be a card draw. There was a similar one that was an ally, but then I realized that it only literally works on allies, and most of our creatures are obviously not allies. Other payoffs: Book of Exalted Deeds. If you gain 3 or more life, get a 3/3 angel. Resplendent Angel. If you gain 5 or more life, get a 4/4 angel at the end of turn. Righteous Valkyrie, obviously quite a nice life gain thing, along with Speaker of the Heavens. You also have a card like Sarah's Ascendant, which becomes a 5/5 with flying. Lost Dreams allows you to draw cards when you're gaining life. The One Ring, because we need a little bit more card advantage. Guardian Project, basically anytime you're playing a non-creature spell, you're drawing a card. The Great Henge also allows you to draw cards. Flare of Fortitude, along with copies of Selfless Spirit, Invasion of Gabakan, and I believe Seed of Life's Bounty, ways to protect our creatures. Then other payoffs: Archangel of Thune, every time you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature. Minwu, White Mage, every gain of life, put a +1/+1 counter on each cleric. You're going to find a lot of these things are clerics, not all of them, but a good deal number of them. Cleric's Class, when you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. And when this becomes to return target creature from battlefield, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Sapor Fairy Leash, you can potentially sacrifice to gain some life, draw some cards. Also serves in a land. Amaria's Call makes some angels, does the same thing. Turn 2 Mirror Symbiosis can be both a land early and a refueling later. Felidar Sovereign can win the game if you're over 40 or more life. And that is Soul Sisters with Aerith the Lost Ancient. Let's start playing some games and see how we do. Okay, well, that game's gonna come. Broncos fan on the other side. Lots of missed field goals in this game. Alright, so we're up against Tiamat, so we're definitely the aggressors in this matchup. No white mana and a mostly white mana deck. Can't obviously keep his hand. So we do a mulligan. hand is okay. I'm not super excited about it, but it's reasonable enough. I'd be surprised if we get hit with a smooth criminal. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to the birds. Tweet, tweet. Dawn of Hope, also another way to a little bit of card draw, although a lot of these are just very mana intensive. What am I doing here? Play Sarah's Ascendant, Dawn of Hope. Relic of Legends, so they're ramping. Okay, kind of, we're gonna get a Tri-land, Surveil-land. Maybe have a removal spell here. Looks like they might have a Terminus. If you gain that much life, gain that much +1 instead. I think we go Commander, attack with Ascendant. Opponent obviously can play Tiamat this turn, I do believe. Okay, Flying Vigilance. And well, that's going to leave us probably too far behind to recover. So, Bird, Heliod. Another bounce spell, possibly. Okay, trigger that. Leyline. Clerk class. Evoke. Pitching. Commander as a pitch spell seems pretty decent. Smothering Tithe, sure. Okay. So what are we doing here? Tiamat. Okay, a bunch of Dargans. Couldn't I cast... Okay, yes. Solve. Or 2. Alright. Well, I get the distinct impression they're not doing well. Don't think we're going to gain enough life to survive this next turn, but... Targans do us 11. Villamachus is just lethal. Yeah. So, we move on. Back to Aerith. Yeah, pretty much. As a smooth criminal. Mm-hmm. Alright. Yorville. This hand does nothing for the first several turns. I think we have to mulligan it. This hand isn't great, but we'll try it. Alright. Chocobo, Chocobo does whatever a Chocobo does. Okay. And the swords we really don't want to use on Savazd. Whatever. Great Henge. We notably don't have any of our creatures, so... Alright. Earth Crystal. Okay, Birds of Paradise. Are they going to hit us with a Passeju, possibly? I'm curious if it checks last known information or how does it work. Yep. That is truly a terrifying card in this deck. I guess our best draw at this moment would be the One Ring, maybe? Real Grazer, sure. Those gets up to a 7/8. Really need to find something this turn. Let's go ahead and discard a card or two. Okay. Sure. Well, pretty sure even if I was wanting to get this one monetized, there's been a few bopping words from next door. Yeah, I think we're up to 4 or 5 swear words so far during this stream. It's all good. It's probably your team's last game of the year, unfortunately. The fact the game's been so low scoring and all over the place, you guys had a chance. Alright, so Astral Titan, aka Primeval Titan. This thing has trample. Nope, does not have trample. I wonder what this is from, because I've seen this, again, I was playing against Amulet Titan in Modern today and saw this art too. It's pretty sweet, but... Terra Symbiosis. I have a feeling this card will be pretty terrifying in Cloud, too. Oh, Spring Heart and Tuco. Oh, so your land drops will get you freaking copies of Primeval Titan. Seems good. Okay. That was a goof up on my part. Not that it mattered because they found Rogue's Passage, but... Alright. I do swear I was winning a few games with this deck earlier. It's like the snowpocalypse of 2026 might finally be wrapping up. I think we ended up with about 12 inches here or so. Always a possibility of more snow tonight, but... Bonnie Paul Clear Cutter. Hi. Keep. Don't you have a Bonnie Paul deck there, Dale? Which one do we get rolling here? Guess we get Goddess Souls going. Maybe we'll draw an untapped white source and we can just kind of start curving out. Though, I mean, Authority of the Councils could have been relevant. Blue. Unable to scream. Okay. Okay, so play that. Play out Daxos. Gee, there's a counter spell. Nope. Interesting. Get life. Do. Ocelot Pride obviously would have been really nice there. They chose to station it instead. Alright, well. Put you to 2. Draw another card. Only Paul Brawl and Commander. People don't like facing Paul Bunyan and her big blue ox. Well, unfortunately, the Paul Bunyan deck didn't do a whole lot this game, so... Finally got to do our thing. Would have really been able to go off with Ocelot Pride, though. Big Bridget. This must be a new one. So, Kithkin, I'm guessing. What's his hand do? Probably should keep one more land, but there's quite a few things we gotta get rolling on with this deck. Play Cleric class. Gain twice that much life. Grab. Asian's Landing. Yikes. Hell and that one. Draw a card, work that out. Okay, land. Flippy back and forthy. Doesn't have lifelink, nope. Excuse me. Squirrels and something got exiled. It's got a ton of mana, which is terrifying. This Convoke of some type. Okay, plenty of Kithkin. Yikes. Keep feeling like we're gonna die to either Moonstone Cavalier or Career Hoof here. Yep. Crater Hoof for the win. It's a truly terrifying commander once it gets rolling. Alright, we're against Hi-Bye. Alright, well, not the most interesting of hands, but we'll keep it. Okay, so we'll get Basic Forest. Play that out. Go get Temple Garden. Play Authority of the Councils. Okay, so play that out. We obviously could use more land drops. I feel like I keep saying that, but Swords to Plowshares, huh? The fun part is we do, in fact, play 40 lands between, I think, 36 lands and 4 untapped MDFCs, so... Okay. Interesting time to play Thalia. Guess they're gonna go their commander into Thalia into flicker it. Okay. Life. I have nothing to return down there, do I? Yep. Yeah, it does make things a bit harder, doesn't it, my friend? Okay. That was dumb. I should have just let it stay there, bend. Okay. And the opponent can see. It's interesting. Don't know that we actually had that game won, but the Mind Skinner. Spawn and Pull your main Simic deck, Dale? Yeah, 10-7. That's a rough one. Actually, the Limitless. Got a whole lot of expensive cards and no real early payoffs. Birdie, 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 boo boo. I should play Wooburg. No early untapped lands, so we'll just go with it, I guess. Innkeeper and pass. Alright, so do that. True that, true to copies. Show and tell. Well, that's terrifying. Okay, timeless notice, sure. I think we will leave a Johnny as an option. Trigger. Trigger. Well, ain't that annoying. There you go, face. Not seeing a whole lot of elementals over there. Actually, sure. Some type of stupid combo. Maybe we'll get right back into that match. Excuse me? Okay, so they cast a Tully, getting a Daxos off my deck. They... Necromancy, what do they have to reanimate? Oh, I did saw in half on the Brew Lord. You get 2 more copies of Brew Lord. Oh my. This is some Jason level stupid. You fit Treasure Cruise in this deck too? I have seen some weird decks today. Alright, I think on that note we can safely go to the next game, because at this point our opponent's just playing with our food. That was funny. Twitch got interrupted, but YouTube didn't. Alright, Sithis. I think we'll try this one, but don't think at this point we need another land quite yet. Attacks obviously a little bit more awkward against the Alright. There we go. Daxos. Don't have quite enough weight to do what I was trying to do there, but okay, there's Sithis. There's of course herself an enchantment. That's interesting. You flip a forest off of your Wanderer, but then alright, no lands yet. Should play that preemptively. Making all kinds of mistakes this game. Banishing Light. Guess goes after Clerk class. Nope, goes after Daxus. Grab. That's a card. Okay. Tobias Brawl. Draw a card. Gain a land. All the land drops. Go to 22. And Archangel of Thune we can't chain into, so decline. Guess it's 2 Thune. Do you make a Wanderer? I don't. I just make a 2/1 insect. Seal of the Empty Throne. Well, that's the ball game, folks. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a world here where we fail to find. Question is, what do they go after? Be funny if we had one of the life gain lands in our deck that we could fetch. Failed to find because I want to activate land tax here. Forest, plains. Okay, draw another plains, cool. Ocelot Pride. Next Bloom Ancient, sure. Puts us to 23. One, two, three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wonder if our opponent is holding off playing a land because they don't want to give us more things with whatchamacallit. Trigger. Already gained life, so trigger. Trigger that. Okay. Cards tells me there. Okay, got us on Chandler. It's going to have all kinds of land. Well, not all kinds of lands, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sure. Tap one land, play an Archon, seems legit. Okay, well, let's see what stupidity you get with that. Overwhelming Splendor. Okay, Witch Enchanter. Okay. Angel, draw a card. Pegasus, draw a land. Alright, make another room apparently. Okay. I say you're attacking with the angels, even though I have a 7/7 flyer right there. Seems like a legitimate strategy. Obviously, none of this is going to matter because our opponent's just going to so 2 mana creature I'd want to blow up. Grab Righteous Valkyrie. And they just play Overwhelming Splendor and end the game. Decided to play nothing. It's an interesting strategy. Angel in addition to its other types. Okay. Need to get rid of a 2 mana thing, get rid of that. Throw out a Heliod. Trigger this, trigger that, trigger this, trigger that. Beginning to think our opponent was just pitying us a little bit there. They wanted to see us go off a little bit. Yep, overwhelming splendor. A bunch of crap. Okay, got a whole bunch of 1/1s. They just have infinite damage here, don't they, basically? Yeah, this is a weird card, but I guess it makes some sense. Opponent let us do our thing, so I'm just going to let them do their thing. Yeah, Angel, we have heard on high. No kidding. They have the Seiju, which kind of matters, but also kind of doesn't here. Yeah, if we had like a one of Rogue's Passage, that would be absolutely hilarious. Unfortunately, I don't even think I have Beseiju in my deck, so yes, I'd like to use that. Okay, so Eight, 1, 7, 1. Okay, so 11, 3 of those, that there. I think it's blocked that doesn't have trample or whatever, so. Hey, look, it's a 1/1, and we'll play out their Blades and pass. That was quite the game. So I think a couple of things, obviously, if I were tweaking this deck further, I know a couple of things. I don't have enough interaction. I mean, an easy way to remedy that is obviously to put in Boseiju and a Ganjo. Probably something else we can do with a land base to make things a little bit better. Almost feels like the mana base is a little too clean. I was more trying to get the engine to work than trying to build the perfect deck in terms of, like right amount of removal, any sweepers, any of that kind of stuff. Because if you look at actual interaction, we have Solitude, we have Tulsimir, we have Flare of Fortitude to interact with our opponent's things, Witch's Enchanter, Path and Swords, Get Lost, and Fateful Absence. So we have an okay amount of interaction. I would like a little bit more. The one things we didn't get to see Archangel of Thune really pop off. Minwu we got to see a little bit. Tulsimir I think we saw once. I don't think I've drawn Well of Lost Dreams yet, and it's kind of annoying. Or, in fact, I think I've drawn the One Ring in one of my practice games. It just wasn't in a position to be useful. Guardian Project we didn't draw. The Wind Crystal, potential to be okay. Leyline of Hope, I mean, it's better than Leyline of Life Force. Whether it should remain in the deck or not, it's a whole nother ball game. Exemplar of Light we didn't get to draw. Smothering Tide. Basically this like whole glut of 4-drops we didn't really get to see. Book of Exalted Deeds, I think might also want to include a Mutavault in the mana base just to make this even a little bit better. I'm mainly using it I'm mainly using it as a payoff for life gain, but it's also certainly something you could use with Mutavault. Tocatli's Welcome was fine. I mean, Heliod, Halia, Aerith, we didn't get to see it in this league, but I've been having fun with it. Yeah, obviously you got to see some of the various different, Terrelessa or whatever, Voice of the Blessed, etc. Those various things go off. Ocelot Pride is just powerful in a deck like this. It's just a matter of what's the right mixture of, Excalibur we got to see a few times, whether this should be in the deck or not. That it's a payoff, but I don't know if it's a good enough payoff. The Great Henge can be a bit tricky to trigger because we don't have a large number of creatures, or a large number of big creatures, but it's still reasonable enough, I think. And Felidar Sovereign obviously is a nice payoff. It's an alternative way to win the game. Should certain things get locked down, obviously wasn't very useful. I think we may have saw it once. So, feels like the deck needs a little bit of mass removal, like a Farewell or something along those lines to draw to. It feels like I would like probably one more piece of cheaper interaction. Whether that be something like Ossification, something like Lay Down Arms. Just feels like I need that one more piece of instant speed or relatively cheap white interaction to go with what we've already got. Obviously putting Boseiju in the mana base. Iganjo, probably a pretty safe bet. There's probably another utility land besides Fountain Port and Mutavault that I should include in the list. Dawn of Hope, This comes down cheap, and you can certainly draw cards off of it, but I haven't been very impressed by this one. Mostly because we're usually kind of choked on mana a little bit in the early game, especially. Birthing Ritual, this is another one that's still kind of up in the air. Like, the thought process behind Birthing Ritual was, especially with Aerith, that you can, like, sacrifice something, get something back with Aerith, even if it's the next turn, and just kind of keep this chain going where you're getting value off of it. So this is one that I'm not sure of and would have to test more. So this was certainly an experimental deck. I think it certainly performed a lot better than the original version. Do I think it's as fine-tuned as it could be? No, probably not. But anyways, as always, thank you for tuning in to our live stream tonight. This time doing Aerith. Not sure which one we'll do next week. Hopefully we'll be able to get into some of the Lorwyn commanders finally. There's a whole lot of commanders we need to get caught up on, but when you're only doing one stream a week, kind of hard to get caught up on that. Plus, getting the cards for them, etc. So, as always, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. My beautiful wife, my lovely brother, anybody else that's viewing here. And hope to see you for next week's stream. See ya.